Welcome, everyone, to Meaningful Conversations. I'm your host, Keela Parkinson, and we are the Living Healthy List experts. And we connect every month in a conversation like this. We like to get together and share our expertise, talk about tools that we've learned, often the hard way, and ways that we teach these kinds of things we've learned to problem solve issues that we have, that our clients have, that people in your community and your family also have. So welcome to the December Meaningful Conversation on overcoming overwhelm. I'm so excited today to be joined by two expert panelists and potentially a third who may be here to talk about, and also some guests who are joining us. And whether you're watching this later or you're joining us live, welcome. Thank you for being part of the conversation. You can contribute here in the chat or later when we have Q&A question portions. And also you can also comment and have live conversations with people here, because we do come back and check out these videos too, because we just love to be this community of experts for you. So having said all of that, today's topic, overcoming overwhelm, is so timely for December. I can only imagine everybody being like, oh my gosh, there's so much to be overwhelmed with in this winter holiday season. Whether you celebrate holidays, whether you don't celebrate holidays, there seems to be so much more to do. And I myself know that I think about this as a time to slow down with like nature's kind of gentle, quiet time and getting, the darker hours and being really meditative. And then it just doesn't seem to be able to be an option. I find myself fighting against it. So today, I'm so happy to be joined by Linda Minnick and Lissa Figgins to talk about ways that they have learned to help others get out of this mindset, balance our priorities, and be really connected to what we value in the world. Welcome, Linda and Lissa. Will you each please take a minute to just introduce yourselves, that sort of 1-minute version of who you are and how you help others. And we'll start with Linda.
Hi, everybody. I'm Linda Minnick. I'm out of the Metro Atlanta area, and I specialize in helping people reach their goals and create the life they desire by changing their mindset. So hopefully we can help you change your mindset about the overwhelm that comes with the end of the year.
Thank you. That was the fastest minute ever.
Short, sweet, and to the point. I love it, Linda. This is such a great conversation, like you said, Keely, that we're having this month, because I think especially as people living in this busy, hurry culture, this time of year, we feel pulled in so many directions. But here's the reality. Once January hits, you're still going to feel busy and overwhelmed and distracted, right? It's not going to end. And we like to blame it on the holidays. And yet I think this is just our new normal of what we live in. And what I find is, as I talk with women particularly, because we're pulled in so many directions, we're never fully present. And it starts to affect things like our faith and our relationships and our work and where our money's going or not going, and even our enjoyment and fun in life, as well as our health and fitness, which I know we talk a lot about on Living Healthy List. And so I'm Lissa Figgins, and my heart really is to come alongside women and to help them to be more present and to use simple time management to figure out what matters most and how to create space for that, so that it gets your attention instead of everything else that doesn't matter in life.
And just identifying what does and doesn't matter can sometimes be just like complete analysis paralysis for me, and I'm guessing for a lot of the people who are joining us today too. So thank you both, Linda and Lissa. And I'm going to ask you then to go a little deeper now and spend a couple of minutes, and take your time this time, Linda. Let us know a little bit more about how you particularly help people, where you've gotten some of this expertise, and just go as deep as you'd like here for a couple of minutes. Lissa, go ahead and you start us off this time.
Okay, I would love to. Well, I think the best teacher is experience, right? And for many of us, it's that we did it the wrong way or the hard way, right? So I was that girl who was addicted to my to-do list, and I never really stopped. And I look back on it now, and I was just reflecting on this last week in a podcast episode that I put out about, I wish I could go back to when I was a younger mom and I was so busy doing all the things that I wasn't really fully present with my kids when they, were in those ages and stages of life, because, my mind was somewhere else, even though sometimes my body was right there. And because I lived by my to-do list, I was never really ever done. I don't know about how many of you guys have ever like truly gotten to the bottom of a to-do list. Like, it's longer than your arm, and, you never get to the end of it. And so it was always, even if I was sitting down on the couch and trying to be present, my mind was like going like this. And so really just learning, like you picked up on, what is it that matters right now? What is it in this season, whether it's because it's the holiday season or the season of, parenting that you're in, or a season of a relationship you're in, or a season in your business, or whatever it is, really pausing to get quiet and kind of tune out the rest of the noise, because there's a lot of other people that are trying to put their opinions in, and, a lot of companies that are trying to say, do this and, come look over here and all those things, but just to get quiet and just to really ask what matters most in this season of my life, right? And then once you identify those things, then you want to make sure that it gets on your schedule, because if it's not scheduled somewhere, if you're not creating space for it, it's not going to happen, right? It's going to get pushed away by everything else. And so you have to know what matters, and it has to be what matters to you, right? Not to everybody else around you, but what matters most to you, which oftentimes involves others, because that's our heart, right? To serve, whether it's our family or friends or our community or our clients or whatever we're doing in life. But it has to be something that's really tied to your why and your purpose. And then, and then we just look at like, okay, now how can I create space in my calendar, and how do I want it to feel? Right? Like, I don't think the holidays has to feel crazy and hustled and hurried and frenzied and all of that. I think you can have a really like peaceful, calm holidays and still have a lot of things, on your list. So really it's just kind of paying attention to that. And then we start looking at, where's your time going? And there are a lot of places where time is being sucked up by things. One of the biggest things is that little box that follows us around all day long, right? Our telephone. And all the notifications, the emails, the texts, the messages, the sales, literally we waste about 28% of our day because we keep getting distracted by that thing. And when you think about that adding up, it adds up to about 4 years of your life that's been wasted by, I'm getting distracted by this thing that I carry around all day long. And so I think that's a big piece of it too, is breaking up with some technology or having these healthy boundaries around it, so it's not sucking up the time.
I love that. Honestly, that's a hot tip to take away for the day, right? Like, what boundaries can I first put around my tech, and what tech can I break up with? Maybe it's certain apps, maybe it's just turning off notifications, something simple like that. Maybe it's like, okay, I set a time that I do this, and then when that timer goes off, I'm done doing whatever, checking email or whatever that might be. Whoo, that is huge. Imagine all the time we would save. Oh my gosh, Lissa, genius.
Right. And if you stay focused on one thing for 25 minutes, I love the Pomodoro method and doing that, right? You get way more done. And what I think is, we think that multitasking is like this badge of honor, right? We think, oh yeah, I can have all these tabs open on my computer or in my life, and I can do all the things at once. And really, we're just switching back and forth so fast, but we're losing a lot of brain power and focus and things like that. And so we tend to overestimate how long something's going to take because we're so used to doing 3 things at once, right?
Oh man, that's fascinating. Okay. So Linda, you bring also these skills into the clients you work with that sometimes are less about like, systems and tools, and more about those inner systems and the inner work, such as Psych K. So can you talk to us a little bit about more of that and ways that you bring
Sure.
because they're both such important pieces of this when we set our boundaries.
Well, and just to tag on just for a minute for what at least Liz was just saying, we get so distracted. The other day I was looking for a twist tie, and I opened my junk drawer in my kitchen for my twist tie. And before I knew it, I was sorting out the junk drawer, which then took me to the laundry room, which then took me to the refrigerator. And then it was all done. It's like, why did I open that drawer? Oh yeah, twist tie. And that just seems, that's a perfect example of what happens to us in this era, and this particular time of year or any time of year. So one of the things that I try to help my clients understand, and if they need to do this through Psych K, is that they really can have a much better control of their calendar and their time, and that they deserve this. And you listen to Lissa about what's important. And so one of the things we work with is, and I mentioned this a few minutes ago, is your calendar. I help my clients understand that they have control of their calendar, and to help them believe that if they plan it, it'll work the way they want to do. So the first thing I do at the end of December, 1st of January, I take my annual calendar and I mark off all the days that I know are important, whether they're business days, whether they're people's birthdays, whether they're vacation. But I've also, as this time of year comes, I start blocking off days for things that I know that I'm going to have to do, that I don't want to rush into there or forget. An example being Friday is my cookie day.
Mhm.
I have 4 grandchildren coming to spend Christmas with me, and it's like, I have to bake cookies. Grandma has to bake cookies. So I'm not telling my clients I'm not available because I'm baking chocolate chip cookies. I'm just telling them I'm not available that day. I'm already booked. So not only do they think, oh, she's really important because she's already booked, they're not booking appointments. And it's amazing how some of the things that we think we have to do now really aren't. So that's another thing. Believing in your thought, believing that what's important to you really is important and that you deserve this, that your priorities are important to you and that you need to take time for that, right? And so another thing I